1100 words, you need to know week 16, day 4. Okay, please go through the new words.
Sure. Virtuosity is the first word, and it refers to a very high degree of skill in performing something, for example. And the next one is temerity.
It's not it's virtuosity.
Okay, virtuosity.
Yes, virtuosity.
Virtuosity.
Yeah, it's not it's not it's complete air. It's actually the phonetic alphabet is like 3, the digit 3 with a colon. You see? Did you get my point?
No, I didn't get it exactly.
The transcription or phonetic sign for that is like the digit 3 plus colon. You can see that in, for example, bird.
The next word is temerity, which means audacity. Or being.
Yes. Audacity or being.
Or being brave enough to, for example, do something which could be counted insulting in the eyes of some people.
Well, it could be positive and negative, but it is excessive courage. It's more than enough. Yeah. Say, take the temerity to do something, or have the temerity to do something. See.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the next word is amorous. Amorous.
Yes.
And it means, I suppose.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it has some romantic interpretation. Yeah, even in the text, it's, as far as I remember, the queen shows some sort of amorous sign or note for mating, so that actually one of the drones, or even more, could be tempted to have intercourse.
Yeah.
So it is somehow romantic or sexual. Because amo in Latin means love. That's why we have amateur. It means a person who likes or loves to do something, and maybe actually they don't have enough profession. Amateur.
The next word is progeny. Progeny.
Yeah.
Which means offspring.
Offspring, yeah. Offspring, descendants, and again, actually, gen has come from gene or genesis. It means producing, generating, So if you happen to know the building blocks of words, as I said, it's easier for you to remember them.
Yeah.
So progeny means descendants, and the opposite of that is
ascendant.
No, ancestors. Ancestors. It means actually grandparents. And even we have another word, prodigy. Let me see. Prodigy. Do you know that?
No.
It's very similar to this word in spelling. This is progeny, and that is prodigy. prodigy. Let me check it. Hold on.
Yeah.
Prodigy.
It means a genius. Huh?
Yeah, very good. Yeah. Genius, a person, a young, who has outstanding natural abilities, particularly mental. Prodigy. Yeah.
Sure. And then the last word is saturate. And when something's saturated, it means, or when a place is saturated, it means that a lot of things have been put in that place. And that place is full of, for example, a special thing.
Yeah, it is soaked, or it is, let's say, filled up. Yeah, it is replete with yeah. So let me see.
The saga of the queen bee.
Mm-hmm. And saga means?
It refers to a long story or a series of events.
Okay, series of events. Yeah.
Events.
Yeah, saga, yeah, the sequence of events or chain of reaction in a story. Or
Exactly.
okay, so it has something to do with the queen. Okay, please.
Yeah. Although the virtuosity of the workers is remarkable, the queen bee is really the main story.
Mm-hmm. Although the virtuosity of the workers is remarkable or outstanding, mm-hmm, the queen bee is really the main story. So the queen bee is in the limelight or in the foreground of attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Workers choose a few larvae to be queens, feeding them royal jelly, a substance rich in proteins and vitamins.
Mhm. Okay, workers choose a few it's larvae, the plural form of
Oh yeah,
larva.
yeah.
Yeah. And even actually we have another example here in the same passage. Yeah. Pupa.
Pupa.
And what does that mean, pupa?
It refers to an insect actually in the stage that it becomes adult.
Mm-hmm. Not completely adult. It is a
It has a
stage
cover, so.
before adulthood,
Mhm.
and after being a larva, and before becoming a complete adult. There is a special cover around it that is
Yeah.
woven by the insect to protect it during the stages of development. And so another example is antenna. These are two sticks on the head of insects. You see, antenna. They use it for navigation and for just improving their perception around them. Antenna. Each insect has two antennae.
Okay.
You see, the plural form of antenna is antennae.
Yeah.
So, larva, larvae, pupa, pupae, antenna, antennae.
Antennae.
These are 3 points that actually have a special pluralization. Substance rich in proteins and vitamins. So that jelly actually is a kind of mixture from fruits and even honey, and so it is produced especially, you see.
Yeah.
And okay, so it is royal food because actually the queen is a royal member of their society.
Exactly. Process of choosing, and while the queen is changing from a larva to a pupa, a team of workers builds a special cell for her.
Mm-hmm. While the queen is changing from a larva to a pupa, so it is another sequentially developmental stage. It means actually from larva and then pupa and then actually complete insect. A team of workers builds a special cell for her. So she is receiving a lot of attention and even VIP. Yeah. Okay, please.
Soon the young queen hatches, eats the prepared honey, and grows strong.
Mm-hmm. Soon the young queen hatches, it means breaks the egg and comes out of it, and eats the prepared honey, that is royal jelly, and grows strong. Here, pay attention to this structure that after grow you can use an adjective, and here it is, grows strong. Yeah, it means become.
Every adjective could be used. For example,
It
grows
must
fast.
make sense, you know. It must make sense. For example, you can say his hair grew white overnight.
After she kills any rivals who have the temerity to challenge her, an amorous note is injected.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. Okay, after she kills or destroys any rival, means
Opponents, competitors.
competitors, opponents who have the temerity to challenge her, and so she just destroys any opponent or competitors that liquidate, yes, that are actually some other potential queens, you know. And she wants to be the queen, so even actually she must be stronger than the others to just liquidate the others. So even the process of natural selection automatically occurs here.
How do they kill each other? By stinging? Stinging?
I don't
Stinging.
stinging. No, I don't think so,
Stinging.
because actually honeybees, when they sting, they die. But I'm not sure if they say yes. Honeybees do not sting; they sting as the last resort. And in the majority of cases, when they sting, they die. Their sting remains in the body of the prey, and they cannot just take it back. Therefore, they die. So it says that an amorous note is injected.
It means that the male one or the drone is aroused by the queen, yeah?
Let me see. An amorous note is injected. As far as I can get from this ambiguous part, I think it means that after just liquidation of the other competitors, the queen just raises a sting, or let's say a placard, figuratively. It means that actually she is ready for mating. So an amorous note. Note here means sign or signal, let's say. A kind of signal for mating actually is raised. Or maybe actually through secreting some special odor, or I'm not sure. Or
she flies from the hive and mates with one or more drones on her first flight.
Yes, so she flies from the hive and mates with one or more drones on her first flight. Do you remember the characteristics of drones?
Yeah, it doesn't work. They don't work. Then the process of egg laying begins.
The process of
egg laying.
Yes, egg laying begins. Yeah. This is the process of, let's say, or the byproduct of mating, and it happens so soon. You know, actually, in insects, actually, maybe I'm not sure about the exact duration, but it's so short. I mean, the duration is so soon. Okay.
Yeah. when her progeny saturate the hive, scouts are dispatched to find a new location, and the bees swarm after their leader to begin the amazing cycle again.
Okay, when her progeny saturate the hive, scouts are dispatched to find a new location, and the bees swarm after their leader to begin the amazing cycle again. So here you see we have saturate for progeny, because progeny is a group noun. It's not saturates. So yeah, when her progeny, it means the offspring. The same is true about offspring. We don't have offsprings, because offspring generally is a plural noun.
Have you used a plural verb for it? Yeah.
Now, yeah, it must be so, because actually it's a plural noun, like people. What are or who are scouts here?
Scouts generally refers to a group of soldiers who are sent to, for example, somewhere to get some new information about something. So if we want to simulate the story here, we can, for example, we can guess that some groups of bees are sent, or
Generally
let's say
workers.
entrusted. Yeah, they're entrusted, for example, to
With.
go through. Entrusted with, yeah.
Yes, be entrusted with. Yes.
Oh yeah, they're entrusted with looking for new places
Entrust.
for mating.
Yes, because the old hive cannot accommodate all of the larvae, so they need to actually be in search of a new place, or even produce or create a new hive, actually. So a new chapter begins in the life, or in the saga of the whole population, society of bees. So they just send out an expedition, or scouts, or a group of soldiers or workers, worker bees, let's say, which are sent out to search or locate a better place. And that is the meaning of dispatch, as you said, to find a new location, and the bees swarm after the leader, that is their queen, to begin the amazing cycle again. So swarm as a verb in reference to bees means?
It means leaving the hive. Sample sentences.
Yes.
A landmark in the history of amorous drama is Romeo and Juliet.
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 A landmark in the history of amorous drama is Romeo and Juliet. So landmark means here as a noun.
It refers to a really important or substantial, an important actually event in the history of something.
Yes, a turning point.
Yeah.
A turning point in the history, or actually the process, or of something in the history of amorous drama, or romantic plays. Or is Romeo and Juliet written by
No, I do not.
Shakespeare?
Okay.
Okay.
The eminent artist, famous for his virtuosity, was admired by classists and beatniks alike.
Beatniks.
Beatniks alike.
It's not important. The eminent means
Famous,
prominent and
Notorious.
famous.
notorious. Yeah.
Notorious has a negative interpretation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Notorious means infamous. It's famous for
Yeah.
something bad
Yeah.
or foul. Eminent artist, famous for his virtuosity, was admired, appreciated, and by classicists means
For example, it refers to a person who studies classics.
right. And
Does it
yes,
refer to music types?
anything, even a sculpture and any artistic task or work.
Okay.
Everything that has something to do with art. And beatniks, it's a group or band in the middle of the 20th century. It's not that important, like Yankees or alike. Alike means in the same way. So that's an adverb. Okay.
Number 3,
Please.
the Bantu chef and all his progeny.
Chef, no. It's chief.
Chief, okay.
Mhm.
The Bantu chief and all his progeny were noted for their valor.
Yeah. Bantu is an African group or language. It's not that important. We are not studying history here. So chief means
Integral, the most important.
no. It cannot be an adjective here,
Okay.
can it?
No.
So as a noun means manager,
Again.
director,
Oh.
boss, organizer. The Bantu chief, which means the director, manager, and all his progeny or descendants were noted for means
Were under the attention or
no, which means they were famous for. They were well known for. Okay, when somebody is noted for something, it means that he or she is, let's say, has received a lot of attention for one particular attribute. Yeah, for their valor. So the Bantu tribes, you can say tribe, must be really courageous, and they must have a lot of audacity.
And for valor, can I say as a synonym alacrity? Alacrity.
Alacrity means eagerness.
It's different from valor, yeah.
Valor means courage, and particularly great courage. For example, knights in the Roman Empire time actually were supposed to have a lot of valor, not alacrity. They are different. You see, the valor, a person who has valor must be aggressive, must be fierce, combative. But alacrity means enthusiasm and zeal.
But I think they are somehow close to each other, isn't they?
Not exactly. There are some common features, but a person who has valor must have alacrity. But alacrity is a very, let's say, softer attribute or milder attribute.
Yeah,
No, I must have. I must do something with alacrity. It means that, for example, when it comes to studying, I do it with alacrity. So I don't do it with valor. So valor has something to do with warlike, fighting, combating, fighting.
For doing something, yeah.
Generally, something that has something to do with fighting, aggression, using aggression and becoming pugnacious and being belligerent. But alacrity, for example, even a mother can love her child with alacrity, with eagerness. You cannot use valor here at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Belligerent means perplexed, yeah.
No. Belligerent means warlike, means aggressive, pugnacious, means fierce.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, for having the temerity to declaim against the majority leader, the freshman senator was given the worst committee assignments.
Yeah. For having the temerity to declaim against the majority leader, so he just raised a stink. It means protested. You see?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because of that, the freshman, and he was a freshman senator, it means he was inexperienced. He recently
Amateur.
joined. Yes. Not
Yeah.
amateur, but actually maybe he was professional. He had, or he or she, I don't know. The person must have studied a lot, but actually he was a novice, beginner.
Yeah.
Not any amateur is a beginner. It's again, actually they are not completely synonymous. And you may actually work in one particular area for even actually many years, and you are still an amateur because you did not care to acquire enough experience in that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he was given the worst committee assignments as a kind of retribution or punishment.
And assignment here means task, yeah?
Yes, tasks or even missions to do. Mission is better, I think, here. Yeah. Or responsibilities.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. And number 5, television in the new century was saturated with the rebirth, rebirth
Mm-hmm.
of
Yes.
the old quiz shows.
Okay, yeah. Television in the new century was saturated with or full of the rebirth, or even you can say renaissance, of the old quiz shows. Yeah, actually history repeats itself. Yes, renaissance means rebirth. Because ne in Latin means birth. That's why we have pregnant. Pre-ne means before birth. Yeah, and ge is a kind of intrusion. It means it is used, it is added for the ease of pronunciation. Because prene is difficult to pronounce, but pregnant is easier. So ne it means birth. Renaissance means rebirth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitions. Virtuosity, great technical skill.
Right.
Temerity, foolish boldness.
Mm-hmm. Foolish boldness, yes.
Yeah. And amorous, full of love.
Mm-hmm.
Progeny, descendants.
Right.
Saturate, soak, fill up completely.
Mm-hmm.
to have the upper hand to gain control.
Control.
I had him at control.
Hmm.
I had him at my mercy, but now he has the upper hand.
So what has happened? What is the big change?
At first, that person was couldn't defend himself or herself in front of that person, and but at the end, actually, the story changed.
Hmm.
He could gain the control.
It means at first actually he was under my protection and I was just protecting him, or actually he was dependent on me, but now actually he has gained control and he is in charge. Or see,
When somebody is at your mercy, you mean you are protecting that person? Yeah.
when somebody is at your mercy, as far as I know, it means that actually you the person who is at your mercy needs your support and attention, or actually is dependent on you. You see, or even actually it could be something, not necessarily somebody. This it shows a contrast, because of bot here. It shows a contrast. So at first the person was under the protection of the narrator here, but after a while actually everything changes, and actually the person is in charge and he is let's say needless or strong.